Hey everybody, it's Cyborg, joined once again by Temp, and we are on year 4, issue number 4. So if you've not checked out the previous ones, definitely go do that. Like the video, subscribe, share it with friends, share it on YouTube and the Twitter. You can't share on YouTube. What am I talking about? I don't even know what I'm saying. It's so
I
crazy.
can try. The effort would be helpful.
Yeah.
Gotta believe.
Okay, well, you share it wherever you feel like sharing it. How about that? Isn't that great? Let's just get into the comic.
Let's do it.
Okay, so we start off with Lex Luthor, and he's talking to someone. We're not really sure who he's talking to, but he is definitely talking out loud, not in his mind, and he is actually talking to Lois, of all people. He's talking to a picture of him, Superman, and Lois. So apparently these guys have been besties for the longest time. And then he throws in a little, if you were with me instead of him, you might still be alive. And throwing that little wedge in there, a little jealousy wedge. My man. I don't know where I'm going with that. Well, anyways, his little romantic thoughts missing Lois is interrupted by Batman. Or Bruce. Bruce has Batman. Or with the beard. So this is 3 days ago, actually. And he says, "What are you doing calling me here? Or, Superman might find out about us." Batman explains that, yeah, he's got his voice, altered or whatever, so Superman won't be able to notice. And he explains that, I've got this proposition. I'm not really sure what to do with it, but he explains that something about what Constantine said to him kind of stuck to him, that he should think outside the box. So, thinking outside the magic realm, I guess he is now leaning towards the gods. And he explains, well, I'm not sure if I should do this, but I'm out of options. Lex Luthor says, well, then your next move should be easy. Desperate times, am I right? And then we flash forward to Batman talking to Ares and making the deal that we saw a couple issues ago start, and then ramp up last issue. Then we kind of jump forward once again to 2 days ago, and that is when Hera is burning Hippolyta, and we find out that Hippolyta actually survived here. And Hera says, refuse me again, and I will kill you. Hera, or Hippolyta I should say, threatens to take it to Zeus, and she says, okay, well, let's take it to Zeus. She immediately takes them both to Zeus, and she kind of tells Zeus what's going on, and Zeus is cool with it. Everything's fine with him. He's he's just like, hey.
He seems pretty complacent, yes.
Yeah, what's your problem here? Is she giving you problems? Kill her. He just seems completely, does not care here. Anyways, Hippolyta gets her way, everything is cool. And she and Ares move on with their day. They have the full support of Zeus in all of this. And Hippolyta is still being reluctant, but what are you going to do? Then we go back to now, in present day, and back to these soldiers up again, threatening Superman to stand down. And we get a fun, smiley Batman throwing out, throwing out a line here where he said... once again, we kind of get caught up on the situation here, and he goes back. I guess we should start off with Wonder Woman's comment. She says, "I don't know how you managed to pull the gods into your treachery, but you will pay for involving my people." Batman says, "I didn't pull them into this. Your mother did." Ooh, Jerry.
Sick burns, for sure.
Yeah, and then he says, when she begged for Hera's help saving you and Clark. Jerry. Okay. Then he says, that said, I will gladly benefit from her foolishness and welcome your people to the right side, as he gives a nice little Batman smile, one of those rare Batman smiles with his blue eyes, some wonderful blue eyes. And then Hermes says, Diana, join me. Or, well, I don't know if it's Hermes. We're not really sure who that's coming from. It's just a bubble that's going off the screen. But we do see Hermes saying, what is your answer? Superman. So they kind of deliberate for a while, and then they come up with the bright idea. What if we just go ahead and do, to, avoid having all these deaths, what if we just pick one champion from each side and have them battle? I mean, I guess that's tradition for them. So they do that. They do just that. And so Wonder Woman says she'll be the volunteer for Superman's side, but Superman stops her and says, no, I will be my own champion. Now choose yours. They do a little football huddle, though without, obviously it needs to mention that Harley does try and jump in and volunteer herself. They all realize that's a horrible idea, so they immediately put the kibosh on that. They want to win.
She uses the Hunger Games terminology to do it, and I love that. That's fantastic.
Fantastic. Harness Ever Quinn. No? And Batman just says, no. And then Batman says, on behalf of the gods, we choose Wonder Woman. And they all look shocked. And that is that chapter. That's the end of that chapter as I throw my scarf behind my shoulder. Then we go immediately to the next chapter, and it cuts back to then, and it's Superman talking to Lex, and Superman kind of shows that, he says that he only really trusts Lex and Diana. He can't even really trust Flash anymore, as loyal as he is, and he's as loyal as they come, but, even Flash he can't trust. And he kind of picks Luthor's brain a bit, and he's starting to say, I feel like everyone has a limit. And Luthor agrees here that, everyone has a limit here, and even Wonder Woman. And Superman fires back saying, well, then what's your limit? And then Luthor kind of goes on and, backs up a little bit and starts sweating bullets here. He's like, ooh, I don't have a limit. And then he says, well, maybe not everyone. Plays it cool. Cool hand Luke over here. Cool hand Luke.
His face looks guilty as hell, too.
Yeah.
He looks fucking...
Cool hand Lex. And then Superman says, well, maybe not. Then we go back to now. So we go back to him, Batman pledging Wonder Woman for their side of the gods. Wonder Woman lashes out and says no. She then tries to murder Batman. This coming from the woman that was so broken up about killing Huntress accidentally and tried to plead her innocent, was just about to smash Batman's face into the cement with no problem. But she is stopped by Hermes. They have a little scuffle. This leads to Zeus himself coming down in a bolt of lightning and says, you must honor the pact. You started this, so do it or else, essentially, saying there will be mass consequences if you do not honor it. So they say, okay, fine, we'll do this. And Wonder Woman and Superman start fighting. They start fighting back and forth. She tells him not to hold back, and he says he won't, and he just bloodies the crap out of her face, and she's got crazy eyes going on for him. She fires back, gouges his eyes out seemingly. Well, she shoves her thumbs into his eyes. They aren't gouged out because we do see his eyes are intact. And the very last image shows her essentially breaking his elbow and him screaming out in a very funny looking pain picture of his eyes, just blood coming out of his eyes, screaming out in agony as Harley is in the background saying, Wonder Woman, the girl on fire. There you have it.
I like that touch a lot, and it's very, for the Dragon Ball Z fans out there, it's very Android 18 Vegeta and how she breaks the arm, and Superman is just like, oh fuck, and it's just, the logic of the, I guess I'll call it a deal, or the agreement, or just, it's a little shaky. I'm not clear why Batman's allowed to choose Wonder Woman, but I think it's a very interesting twist that Wonder Woman doesn't just martyr herself for the regime. It's a show, at least I think it's the writer's intent to kind of show Wonder Woman's true colors. How she's still kind of the sociopath we knew from year one, maybe.
Yeah.
And that after all that loyalty, she's going to like completely blow off the regime for Wonder Woman, moral standards. I think. What do you think? Thoughts?
I think it's interesting, too. Hopefully we get a little bit more fleshing out of why she is going along with this. I mean, I guess, or why Batman was able to pick her, and, yeah, why she doesn't just sacrifice herself for the greater good, which we obviously know is not, but in her mind, why she doesn't do it. But maybe it's just her warrior spirit where she can't back down from a challenge or what have you. Maybe she just doesn't want to die. I don't know. But yeah, it is a little odd that Batman was able to choose her. I mean, by that right, could he have said, I choose Superman as well? And then we see Superman have to fight himself and kill himself. Well, I only have I have no other choice, and it just blows his brains out. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what the rules are here. I don't know if we will find out the rules. Every time we've said, well, we doubt they'll actually explain it, they've actually explained things in a follow-up issue. So let's see this through. But yeah, I'm not really sure where this is going or how they get out of this without one of them being dead. So I guess we'll find out. But yeah, it is really interesting that he was able to pick her. I don't know the exact rules there. Could he have said, I pick Zeus? Like, I don't know. I don't know the rules here. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's a little... Well, I do want to go back to creepy Batman smile a bit, too. This is probably the only part of the issue because the other stuff with the Wonder Woman thing, that's nitpicking. This I actually do kind of have a problem with. And, well, first of all, that art is just so out of character for Batman. It's not really... The shit-eating grin is not a Batman staple.
Yeah, that was a very, like, I got you with that one, didn't I?
Didn't see that shit coming.
Burn. Burn. Okay.
So, yeah, it's, well, also, he's also talking shit, which is also not in character. And he's lying. He said, I didn't pull them into this. Your mother did. Yes and no. I mean... Technically, her mother did strike the deal with Ares, and in return, she offered them sort of like a Godfather favor later in the future that was completely vague and undescribed. So I assume Hip Top Thomas did not know that this was on the table, that she could end up declaring war against the regime.
Yeah.
But just like Batman's kind of fully responsible for this, so he's not really even being straightforward there. Which I mean, it's not uncommon for Batman to lie for the greater good. But look at that face.
Yeah, he's just like fucking gotcha. I got it. It's like the kind of face where he's like smiling, then he's looking around to make sure all of his friends are smiling. Like, huh? Yeah, this is pretty good, huh? Not bad. Not bad. You guys digging this too?
It's very O'Doyle rules, which is a term people hear from me quite a bit, but I know it when I see it, and this is it. Okay, and I guess the only other thing I had to throw in there was, how do you feel about the Lois Lane love triangle they're kind of implying?
I mean, that's something I think is a trait that Lex has shown in many comics, so I don't think this is like well, I don't know how common it is. I don't read Superman comics, but I feel like that's something that's probably been played up before in other universes and stuff, other storylines. So I don't think it's too far-fetched. I think it makes sense that Lex would maybe want Lois for whatever reason. I don't know. But him having that weird rivalry with Superman and Clark, it makes sense to a degree. So, who knows?
That's just fair. I'm glad some Lex Luthor elements transferred over to the New World, but I'll admit I'm not. That's sort of a new thing for me, but I'm not against it. I hope they kind of keep building on it. It's almost reminiscent of the Severus Snape love triangle with Lily and all that shit, which again, it's not bad. Year 4 is looking okay so far. I feel like I say that every segment, like just to reassure myself. Year 4's not bad. Year 4's not bad at all. But I mean, and it's not. I guess there is a nervousness. There's a nervousness that if this could go sour if the writing isn't careful.
I mean, from what I heard, year 5 is the one that really starts to downward spiral, whereas year 4 is just more like okay. So I think we're safe for at least this year. But yeah, I'm glad the worst one is the one with the most issues. But that's another story for another day. But yeah, keeping on track of this issue, that pretty much wraps it up though. So how do they get out of this one? I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out in the following issues. So you guys keep tuning in. Thank you for watching. We don't say that really. I mean, we're always telling you to like and subscribe, but just take a moment here. Thank you for watching, and I'm sure we'll have a nice big thank you at the end of all of this. But thank you for tuning in, guys. We'll see you with issue number 5 tomorrow. You guys take care.
Yeah, thank you again, guys. You all stay safe. We definitely appreciate it.
Stay safe at those computers that you're at, or cell phones. Don't watch this while you're driving.
Use surge protectors.
And protection in general. Have a good day. Stay safe.
Later.
Classy. San Diego.